Hi everyone, my name is Tanner Hugaboom, and today we are going to be recapping episode 375 from Freakonomics, and the most interesting fruit in the world. So as you can see, as what they quote, the most interesting fruit in the world is the banana. Throughout the podcast, there were many changes to the supply and demand of these bananas. To kind of start things off at first, back in the 1900s, bananas were considered a luxury item. They were very expensive. There was not a huge supply of them. In addition to that, the transportation of bananas was also very slow. The transportation actually started out on sailing ships, and throughout the course of time, eventually moved to steamboats and railroads. And as what most companies nowadays use is actual fruit company ships. In addition to that, the value of bananas was brought forward by many individuals who were eating the product, claiming that they were very nutritional and held many vitamins that were, I guess, posed many health benefits to the U.S. population. As of now, the banana is actually the most popular fruit in the United States, which is kind of crazy to think about considering apples are very popular, but bananas are the most popular fruit in the United States. Each year there's about 145 million tons of bananas produced. Lastly, what I want to talk about is what is called the Panama disease TR1 or tropical race 1. As many of you may not know, the bananas that we eat nowadays are Cavendish bananas. Earlier in the 1900s, these bananas actually did not exist. We were actually using or eating a different type of banana, an ancestor to the Cavendish banana. These ancestors ultimately got wiped out by the Panama disease TR1, which basically kills the root of the banana plant, ultimately just killing everything that was trying to grow off of it. So as you can see, the supply and demand of bananas has definitely changed. As mentioned earlier, it was a luxury item. There were not many of them being produced, as well as the supply of them was very slow. Nowadays, as mentioned, there's 145 million tons produced each year. The transportation of them is a lot quicker than what it was, ultimately leading to a cheaper price, which you're actually finding in your grocery stores nowadays. The current threats to the banana supply would include Panama disease TR4. It is basically another strain of what we previously saw in Panama disease TR1. TR4 is just another disease that is affecting different genes within the banana plant, and again, ultimately killing it at the root. Another threat to it is genetically modified bananas. This can be mentioned within the RGA2 gene or the CRISPR. Basically, these two technologies are allowing scientists to remove particular genes from banana plants, ultimately making current banana plants immune to any type of disease such as Panama disease TR4. Lastly, my response to the banana threat, well, it's definitely tough to say. The CEO of Chiquita, which is a huge banana supplier, basically mentioned that the genetically modified bananas are not socially acceptable. Well, in my own personal opinion, regardless of if it's socially acceptable or not, if you have a disease such as Panama disease TR4 that is threatening crop production and could ultimately wipe out bananas altogether, you have to find a different way in order to produce the quantity that is in demand by the populations within other countries such as the United States. So regardless, I believe that the RGA2 gene being used to grow bananas back is definitely the best option. Basically, it's a gene that's removed already from a wild banana and incorporated into other banana plants. It's ultimately going to allow us to continue supplying bananas for all of those who enjoy eating them, whether that's babies, teenagers, adults. Everybody definitely seems to enjoy them. Lastly, I have my references. This does give credit to the Freakonomics podcast, which is where this information was brought to you from today. Thank you for your time, and have a great night.